Guess what, everybody? The results are in. The National Guards in D.C. have been an overwhelming success. We'll look at those numbers because I have them to show you. We'll also talk about how Trump just ordered the National Guard, because it was such a success there, to go into 19 more states. Along the way, we'll also look at how Democrats just can't stand it, and I love seeing that kind of stuff. Knowing they are frustrated is just so gratifying. They can't take any success from Trump. They're trying their best to come up with phony statistics. Let me tell you, they're good at deception too, but you know what we're going to do? We're going to cut through the fog and clear it all up. And you know what? It's kind of a shame we have to do that too. I mean, why do we have to do this? You would think that Democrats would listen to the happiness that people are expressing right now.
I enjoy having extra security. I think it's a good thing. I mean, you want to feel safe when you're out and about, especially females.
It's a good thing because it actually reinforces the fact that America is secure, safe, stable. As a centrist, I think something needs to be done. I have 3 kids. I'm about to start teaching next week.
Thank you, Trump. You can now come and check out the monuments, get something to eat, and check out the sites in Washington, D.C.
Yeah, you cannot tell me this is not benefiting us. It's definitely doing what it's supposed to do. I don't care who versus who, what they mean by what. Baby, it's clean and beautiful.
I mean, honestly, is it really that hard for the left to listen to their very own citizens and their very own constituents? The people here are speaking up, and you know these are most likely Democrat voters, too. They're telling the truth. They're saying it's good to see safe streets. It feels great to walk outside and not worry about getting mugged. We'll see how Democrats responded to all this freedom and happiness in just a moment. But for now, here's what the good guys did. Trump and his team recognized a successful operation. They see happiness and they want more. Freedom to enjoy friends and family is actually a good thing. The D.C. Police Union just released new crime statistics. There was an 8% overall drop in crime in Washington, D.C. ever since Trump announced the federal takeover. Carjacking down 83%, robberies down 46%, and violent crime in general down 7%, along with a number of other positive numbers as well. Turns out that criminals don't like law enforcement. Turns out that if you care about the rights of citizens, you can actually do something about it. All you have to do is try. And this isn't the end of the good news, too. It also turns out that D.C. just had their first murder-free week in a very long time, the first since March. Something that rarely happens in summer months, because the murder rate then is typically much higher. Then Pam Bondi signed an order to end D.C. sanctuary city policies. The ball is rolling. And what started out as something intended for only D.C. has now become contagious. The Trump administration has decided to go even further now. They're going to go ahead and continue making voters happy and citizens safe.
After deploying the National Guard to Washington, D.C., now the White House plans to extend its effort across 19 states, all with the goal of curbing crime and supporting immigration enforcement, saying D.C. is safe again after he cracked down on crime right here in the nation's capital. And now that effort is actually expanding across the country.
We're going to make our cities very, very safe. Chicago's a mess. You have an incompetent mayor, grossly incompetent. And we'll straighten that one out probably next. So I think Chicago will be our next, and then we'll help with New York.
After hearing this, you know red voters in Chicago are extremely happy right now. They can definitely use some help. Chicago has the second largest police force in the nation, over 12,000 officers, yet they're still one of the most violent cities in the country. Does that make any sense? It kind of does. It's mostly due to gang violence and certain demographics interacting with each other at a very violent level. But that's the way it goes, right? And you know the left will try to come up with the statistics to try to counter those who want safe streets. They're going to go out of their way to try to twist and turn. You know what else? When we think of the current state of the left today, I mean, as it is today here in America, not what it was 70, 200 years ago. And when we think about it in its state in the rest of the world, it's just infected with globalism. It just needs to stop. The actual citizens to the left don't really matter. A genuinely safe society doesn't matter as well. What counts for them is the appearance of law and order, because that's what the left is all about, virtue signaling and appearances. Not hard work with a mind to sacrifice for the future. They're all about the narcissistic gratification of self-pursuit. No commitment to family or something greater. So, leaving behind Chicago and getting back to D.C., choreographing appearances is precisely what the left tries to do in order to make Trump look bad. This is how they deceive. They twist numbers and perception in order to make it all appear as if crime is on the downfall in D.C. They cry about how Trump shouldn't be there. They shout about how we don't need the police. Let's look at how good they are, too. Let's look at how good they are at mixing just the right amount of lies with just the right amount of truth, too. This is the Democrat recipe for politics, mixing lies with truth. According to the left, violent crime has been down in D.C. for the last 30 years. And you know what? On this one, they're actually right. This is where they're telling the truth. If you isolate certain violent crimes, their occurrence has declined over the last 30 years. These include assault, robbery, sexual assault, carjacking, and many others. Yes, the rates have declined for those in that time period. But this is where the truth stops and the lies begin. Democrats want you to be fixated on the term violent because there's a term they left out. It's lethality. This is what they don't want you to know. According to the Council on Criminal Justice, the lethality of crime since 2012 has risen by a whopping 341%. There are no other cities in our nation that even come close to this. As a matter of fact, in almost every other major city, they ran the same comparison. The lethality remained the same or went lower. Austin was the only other city where lethality went up, but even that still doesn't even come close. Washington, D.C. is nearly exclusive in their propensity to kill. Today, regardless of the number of violent crimes committed, Washington, D.C. is still fourth in the nation with a 27.3% homicide rate. All while the population is generally kind of a low average in comparison to other cities. That's sick. The truth is that criminals feel more free to kill in D.C. than most other cities in the country. What is usually carjacking is more likely to involve the death of the driver. That grocery store robbery is more likely to involve the death of the counter clerk. Same situation for most other crimes. All of this is due to Democratic governance. Washington, D.C. is the second most liberal city in the country. Years upon years of neglect. So much time invested in caring more about the rights of criminals than the rights of actual citizens. That's what they don't want you to know. Criminals are empowered in D.C. Criminals have less to fear with Democrats in charge. Who's going to punish them? The left will go out of their way to cover this up. Globalists do not want you to know that they simply do not care about people. So they distort numbers. They get some inspired leftist to do a poll of what is likely just bias confirmation. It's a person going out and polling selected people to respond in ways that the pollster wants, keeping the number of people isolated, small enough to be controlled as well. Then they run that poll as the truth. They think they fooled everybody. And unfortunately, they do fool some people. So fellow Democrats get together and snicker to each other in their political bubble. Honest citizens, yep, they suffer. The honest ones get deceived. Democrats get them to ignore the big picture. The big picture is that homicide in D.C. has always been a problem. They have one of the most consistently high homicide rates in the country. The 30-year picture means absolutely nothing when the 100-year picture is an outright abomination. It's also been reported that the left has reached a new low, too. Crafting a narrative has gone to an extreme we just don't see on the surface very much. A commander at D.C. Metro was just suspended for allegedly misreporting crime statistics.
As the federal takeover of law enforcement continues in the nation's capital, the Justice Department is now investigating whether police in Washington manipulated data to make crime rates appear lower. That's according to two senior law enforcement officials who spoke to NBC News. In May, a commander at the Metropolitan Police Department was suspended amid allegations he altered that data. He denies those claims. President Trump referenced the investigation in a Truth Social post earlier this week, saying, quote, D.C. gave fake crime numbers in order to create a false illusion of safety, adding they are under serious investigation.
Look at this guy pretend that what Trump posted there was something bombastic or something that was not true. We all know it's true. It's common sense, as a matter of fact. It's unfortunate that people on the left can't see right through their own manipulation by their own politicians. But even more unfortunate is what we're going to have to go through, because this investigation of this particular commander it's going to go on for a while. We're not going to see any results of this one anytime soon. In the meantime, we'll have the left in constant denial, like they always are. And as usual, as much as they, want to defund the police, you would think that Democrats would want to jump in on this investigation and bust the guy, but they might snare someone actually guilty of something, and it doesn't fit their narrative. We're going to have to sit by and watch them cover for this guy who is likely covering for them. And that's it for this video, everyone. The bottom line is the Trump administration is on a roll, and the left can't stop it right now. Democrats are great at orchestrating illusions, but not so great at protecting our citizens. And if you got this far, everybody, you watched the whole video, I really appreciate it. You're helping me out a lot. If you left any likes or comments too, absolutely love it. Thank you for the support. See you in my next video.